All right, 3, 2, 1, let's get it. Welcome to another episode of What's Your Problem, the podcast where we will help you develop the skills to handle the adversity, embrace uncertainty, and never settle again. That's the 3 problems that you face in life. Doesn't matter what your social status is. Adversity, uncertainty, and complacency. And we're going to develop the skills of communication, curiosity, creativity, continuous learning and action, productive confrontation. You tie those skills up, that's going to give you the confidence to be RFA, ready for anything. I'm your host, Marsh. Buice. I'm so happy that you are back here with me. If this is your first time here, welcome aboard. This is episode 835. So we got a lot of content, man. You got a lot of content that you can go back to and find the thing that best fits for you for that day, because you may be dealing with something and you need some tools, some thought processes to kind of change that narrative. Well, I got plenty of content for you to access for free. So I'm so happy to be back here with you. And today, man, we're going to talk about mastering the art of timing. Timing is everything, yet we treat it as if it's nothing. And you've either had situations before where the timing was wrong. You think back to these old cars, and the old cars had timing. And so when the timing was off, you had to adjust the carburetor to get that thing to run smooth. And when it was all spitting and sputtering, then you had to keep tweaking that thing. You pop the hood, you adjust the carburetor until the sputtering became smooth. And a lot of times that's what we have to do in our lives. Is you may find that your life is sputtering right now. Either something blew up in your face, so it was the wrong timing, and now you've probably pulled your punch because you don't want it to happen again. Or maybe you find yourself, I find myself in this spot a lot of times, is I'm frustrated because it seems like time is speeding up and I'm not getting enough accomplished. And it just feeds upon itself and makes it more and more frustrating. And recently, I dove into Robert Greene's book, 48 Laws of Power. It's a thick book, man, and it's the words are tight. So it's a very, very laborious read. So what I like to do is the random reading is I'll take 15, 20 minutes of my morning, pick a book off the shelf, and just read that one chapter. And so that way I don't have to power through a book cover to cover. I can just jump in on a chapter that most resonates with me, read it, and then apply it to my life. And so this one was Mastering the Art of Timing. It's on page 296 for those of you who want to go back to it and check me out on it. And Robert Greene talks about there are 3 ways to master timing. There's 3 categories to it. It's long time, force time, and end time. Long time, force time, end time. And so quickly what I want to do is I want to break down these aspects of timing so that way you can not only spot but also manipulate it. And I use the word manipulation. It's got a bad rap. When you think of manipulation, you think of pulling over on somebody. It's got nothing to do with that. Manipulation is the fact that you control the flow. So you may manipulate it to slow it down, timing, or you may manipulate it to speed it up. Either way, it's to your advantage. It's just being able to spot where I'm at in the timing aspect, in which of these 3, and sometimes it's all 3. I'll unpack it here in a minute. So you use which of these 3 at that moment to create an opportunity. So quickly, let me unpack these for you. Long time. This is my favorite one. And I think because it's got 4 subcategories to it also. But long time is where you actually have, believe it or not, you actually have the ability to slow time down. The reason why time is speeding up for you, it's your emotions, either externally or internally. Either externally, you're getting triggered by these outside influences and circumstances, and so you get all erratic, which then feeds into the internal. Or maybe on the external, things aren't too bad. It's okay, pretty smooth. But internally, man, you got that disconnect. It's like, dude, I just can't get anything done. I can't close the lid on a toilet. you're not accomplishing anything. The reason why time is speeding up for you is because you've got that internal negative churn going on. So when you can learn to settle your emotions, you can actually lengthen time. Robert Greene relates it to a baby or a little kid. You know, kids don't give any aspect to time at all. So they just, it's a long time. But as you get to be an adult and as you get older, I don't know. It's like you look at the sands in the hourglass. You're like, oh, I got to hurry. I've even gone off on my wife before and just snapped at her because I'm like, you don't understand. Like, I'm 50 and I've missed out on so much. I got to get all this back. You know, there's a lot of things that I messed up on. There's a lot of things that I missed, and I got to get these things back. And she was like, not at that pace. You're not going to get anything. As a matter of fact, you're going to make even more mistakes. It's going to blow up in your face, and you're exhausting yourself, and you're torching those who love you because you're running this singular race. So I've had to, and constantly have to, settle my emotions. When I can settle my emotions, then it's going to give me the long time aspect. And Robert Greene breaks it down to 4 different ways of long time. The number one thing is when you can settle your emotions and unclutter your mind, you can actually see into the future. And think about this. You settle your emotions down. You don't get triggered externally or internally. You're not running around putting out fires. That gives you the ability to settle and see what's coming into the future. This is the only time you should settle in life. When you can settle your emotions, you're able to settle in and see what's going on and see what's coming. That's why, you know, you look at these power players out there and they're able to seize these opportunities. Why are they able to seize the opportunities? It's because they're not running around responding or reacting, putting out a bunch of fires. There are times where you do have to do those things. But so many times, if you think about your day, I was thinking about this as I was writing this. I'm like, how many times am I just trying to get through a day, right? And I'm just trying to work in the day instead of working on the trajectory of my life. And so when you can settle those emotions and see into the future, then this is going to give you a couple of other advantages that Greene talks about. The second form of long time, an advantage of long time, is number one, seeing into the future. Number two, you don't get trapped in another man's game. That's key. And so many times, if you think about you have to accomplish so much, well, if somebody comes along with an ulterior motive that's a bright and shiny object that you think you got to have, or you better jump on it, then you get trapped in their game. And so then they're able to manipulate you, or you end up holding a bag full of consequences that had you settled your emotions, then you wouldn't have made these careless mistakes. The careless mistakes are because you're running around not giving any thought to the manipulation of time. You slow that thing down, see into the future, don't get trapped in another man's game, which gives you the third advantage. When you can master the art of long time, you can actually see and seize other opportunities and advantages that those who are hurriedly running around, putting out fires, trying to show how busy they are, you're able to kind of settle in that pocket, feel that tension, yet you don't react to it, and you can strike and seize opportunities because you saw them and they didn't. And then the fourth aspect of long time is you're able to complete a task and move on to something else. Chop wood, carry water. And so you complete this task. You go to the next task. Complete the task. Go to the next task. Where everybody else is running around trying to, everything's half-baked. They start it, stop, jump to something else. Start, stop, jump to something else. Start, stop, jump to something else. You don't do all that. It's the tortoise and the hare, right? Slow, methodical, at your pace, at your cadence. It's because you're manipulating in a good way. Long time. Second aspect of mastering the art of timing is forced time. Forced time is where you use this to your advantage. This is where you not only manipulate time to slow time down, but also you speed it up when you want to trigger sometimes a careless mistake. So you want to expose the vulnerabilities of the other party, the weaknesses. And so when you do that, then you can seize those opportunities. This is a game of life that we're playing. So whether you're in sales or in life, you need these skills, and there are times when you actually need to speed things up. So as a buyer, you slow it down to see what other incentives come your way, but also that you force that timing. But also there's a time as a buyer to speed it up and say, I'll close it right now, but these are the things that I require. These are the incentives. You do this, I'll do this right now. And so you use that to your advantage. As the seller, you can use force time to your advantage too. Sometimes it's slowing it down, and you slide into the bucket of long time to actually survey the landscape a little bit, to spot any advantages that you can, to ask a few more questions, and then you speed it up and close it. This is what Mike Weinberg calls picking the scab. And so you see this to your advantage. You accentuate on this. You pick the scab. You pull out the issues or problems. You address them. You close it. And this is where you speed things up. So you can use that to your advantage. As the seller also, this is where we'll put deadlines, meaning it's the end of the month. There's extra incentives. You better jump on it. If you don't, you're going to miss out on this. So it's the fear of impending losses. So I can manipulate that time and speed it up to force a decision. And then the last aspect of timing, mastering your timing, is end time. Robert Greene relates this to a hawk tracking its prey. A hawk may fly for miles, for hours, tracking that rodent, that prey. But then when it's time, he seizes it. He doesn't pull up in mid-flight. He strikes. That's what you got to do. I've seen so many salespeople miss out on an opportunity because they're conversationalists and not closers. And so all they're doing is they like to keep the conversation going, partly because their fear of the rejection. The rejection is what gets the objections out. So sometimes I'll go back to force time. I'll throw something out there. Let's do it. I know they're not going to take advantage of it. Sometimes they will, but I know they won't say yes, but I'm doing that to trigger a no, so that way I can get the objection out onto the table, address it, and now that I've addressed that concern, now I see the need to close the deal. I'm the advantage. I'm the solution. Here's the service. Here's the product that I offer. Here's what I'll stand behind and do. Let's go. And many times, and dude, I'm using sales as a metaphor. Sales is the ultimate metaphor for life. We're all selling our way through life because selling is getting someone to accept your product, service, or idea. So we're all needing to use and master the art of timing. And so the end time means that you need to see when it's time to close. And many times we totally miss that because we're not listening for it. We're not paying attention to it because we just want to keep the conversation going. Close it. Land the plane. Be done with it. And sometimes when you end it, it may trigger something where it has to go back to force time, or maybe it has to go back to long time. What I love about this whole analogy is they're going to slide in different buckets at different times. And so instead of getting butthurt because this one part of timing did not work at that moment, so let's say I thought it was an end time and I tried to close it and it didn't work, it didn't blow up in your face, just slide into the other area. Okay, where do I need to go? I need to go back to long time. Okay, what part of it? I need to settle down my emotions. Maybe I'm getting too wrapped up in this deal. Maybe I'm getting trapped into their game and no longer playing mine. Maybe I'm missing out. I need to slow this thing down to seize the opportunities. Or maybe I need to complete one task, address certain concerns before moving on to the next thing. See how it all slides? So it's not, they're not siloed off. They're actually, it's a blending of all. That's what timing is. It's a blending of all. But a lot of times you either think that time is slipping away from you, so you make things worse and you get careless, or something did not work at the time, blew up in your face, so now you're overly cautious. You don't need to, man. The advantages that you're going to get in life are predicated based on how you master the art of timing. As I said at the beginning, timing is everything, but don't treat it as if it's nothing. And there's more than one aspect of timing. So if something isn't working for you right now, where are you? What bucket are you in, and what bucket should you be in? And then also, if you feel like that things are slipping away from you and timing's actually speeding up, number one thing is settle your emotions, settle these things down, get into that long time, see which of those categories you may fit in, and then maneuver from there. All right? Let's get out of here. Thanks for sharing this episode. Keep it simple. Keep it moving. Never settle. Stay tough. Peace.